One of the most watched videos is the one we did about how to build chicken houses. Today we're going to talk to a gentleman who's a third generation chicken farmer, fifth generation farmer, and he's building 2 more on top of the 6 he already has. So we're going to ask him why. We got Jeff Thomas with us today, and Jeff is a 5th generation farmer.
That is correct.
3rd generation chicken farmer. Good grief. So tell me a little bit about like the history of this little place right here.
Well, this place has, of course, been around a long time. 1960 something or another, we started growing chickens. Cotton prices were awful at the time, and we didn't know a lot about wheat and soybeans and all those things. But anyway, for 50 odd years, chickens have been the one thing you could count on to pay all the taxes and whatever other things needed to be taken care of. The cows were good some years, they're not some years.
Certain commodities have their coming and going, but chicken's pretty consistent.
Soybeans and whatnot, it could be $4 and it could be $15. So you don't know when you start, and you don't know what the weather's gonna be.
Right.
Here, we know we're gonna grow chickens. We know that we can control the temperature to a great degree with all the great innovations that have been made.
Not depending on weather.
Not depending on what. And we have the ability to support 2 families.
Okay.
My children and myself, grown children,
right,
and myself.
So you've actually got 4 here, and these were actually new because you told me there were the older houses. You replaced these, you built 2 more, and now the pad's cleared for 2 more. So you're gonna have 8, eventually 10. We got a lot of people who watch this who already have houses. They're kind of thinking, should I build more or should I just keep it like it is? Why did you decide to build 2 more, and why are you gonna build 2 more after that?
Well, they say farming is a love. You have to love it or you can't survive in it, and I guess that's possibly true. But the reality is farming is a business.
Yeah.
And if you can't make money, you won't be farming for very long, and you'll lose the farm.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you don't have the picture showing of the chicken houses that are right here kind of behind me, but you did hear a fan come on and go off a moment ago.
Yeah.
It's on a cycle. But we built the houses, the first 4. They're almost 4 years old now.
Okay.
And after a couple of years, we built the next 2. And now we are fixing to build these 2. Now here's why.
Okay.
If I build 2 houses, 1 house will pay the mortgage.
Okay. So one house will pay the mortgage of the 2.
Of the 2.
Of the 2.
The other house will pay the electric bill and the gas bill.
Okay.
And still leave some monies left over.
Okay.
Now, so when you've got 4 houses, now 2 houses pay the mortgage, you've got more money left over.
Yes. Business.
It's business. 6, the same thing. You started to get up to the point now that you can support 2 families. Now, I don't mean you'd get rich.
Right, right.
I mean you can have a good country life. I've got a grandson right now that he comes over here every day. He's 3 years old.
3.
He knows everything about these houses. He knows what to do as far as disinfecting his feet and all this. Before he goes in there, he has a ball. He's got wonderful eyes, of course, and he can see things better than you can sometimes. But he's already said, I want, kids say I want to be a fireman when I grow up. I want to be a chicken farmer.
Yeah, he wants to be a chicken farmer.
But it's because he's able to enjoy country life.
Yeah, and a lot of people, that's why they do this, is because of the lifestyle, not to get rich.
That's right.
But what you're saying is there is some business part of how you can get more margin as you grow.
It is sustainable. I mean, you don't go borrow $1 million or 1.2 million and then, another $1 million. You don't borrow that kind of money unless you think you're going to be able to pay it back.
Yeah, yeah.
And my whole life, I've seen people eat chicken.
Yeah.
And it can be pretty good. So these 2 houses, I have 2 sons.
Okay.
So these two houses will, when I'm gone,
Yeah.
we'll have at least given both of them something.
Right.
Now, they have other jobs or
Sure.
opportunities to do things, and they do those things. But they can count on this.
Yeah.
And I do not foresee it stopping.
Yeah. And you keeping the land in the family.
And the land
And they're 6th generations. You got 7th generation running around at 3 years old.
That's about the truth.
That's crazy.
So, and that is part of it, to keep the land.
Yeah.
And with the taxes and things that are, some of my ancestors would flip over in the grave if they knew what taxes were, because it's a whole lot more than what it ever cost to purchase the land.
Oh, yeah.
But chickens, you can count them. You can say, I'm going to take an hour a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's going to average you for a house? So if you got 6, that's 6. If you, my idea always has been, if I was at the job, if they're going to pay me more to do something else while I was already there,
yeah,
I'm going to stay there and I'm going to do
a little extra work,
next
get more money.
So 8-hour day. Well, now if you divide that up between 1 or 2 or even 3 people, okay, that's not a whole lot.
No.
Somebody's got to be here.
Yeah.
You cannot grow chickens if you don't not broil it.
Babysit.
And you don't do. I don't care how good your computer is. My phone in my pocket will it can tell me everything that's going on in there. But I still got to go in there and sit down, walk the room, and listen to the birds. And that's just one of the keys.
I say this sometimes on video, but a farmer from Africa told me one time, he said, the best thing you can put on your farm is your shadow. So it's funny to hear the advice of even long-term growers like that right there.
Well, my daddy was real instrumental. I mean, of course, I was always working with him. And he hit one streak there where he was #1 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
And growing these birds. And in fact, one time a company told me, said, you can't compete with all these new houses, which I can, and I did.
Yeah.
But when I'd be growing against 16 growers or whatnot, and some of them had started having their computers and things, and they maybe were #1 or #2. If they were 1 or 2, I was #3.
Yeah.
And I had old house.
Paid for houses.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's really what I want to just come out here, because I'm even going to do a video here pretty soon about a guy who had to go find an integrator to start with, and so we're going to do a little video on that. But I had not found, there's a lot of people getting out of it now. They're going bankrupt, and they're just the whole ABF has had a big impact. But it's good to see somebody who's still growing. And one thing I always try to tell people is that you got to run it like a business. I mean, it is a business. So
if you own it, you better be there.
You better be there.
Now, you can be somewhere else as well, but you got to have, and I can't speak for nobody else, or the bankruptcies, or thises, or thatses, but the money here goes back to the family.
Yeah.
And I do believe if you really want to, you've got to be a family grower.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah. And I think that's what most people do this, because they can have their son with them and different things like that. Well, Jeff, thanks for taking the time with us, letting us come out and check out, and maybe we'll come back later when it's all finished and see how the 8 are doing.
They're going to deliver trusses next week.
Oh my goodness.
And they'll start pouring the foundations, walls, and framing it up. So it won't be long.
It's about time to go. Here we go.
All the equipment is scheduled to come in here May the 24th, 5th, whatever that day is.
Just a
and
3 or 4 weeks.
They will expect the walls and the roof to be up.
Because when they show up.
That's exactly right.
Well, if you got any questions about this, still above my pay grade, but any questions on anything else, give me a holler. 1-800-608-3755 or Alan at southlandorganics.com. Until next time. Thanks again, Jeff.
Thank you.